whenever you travel, always do some adventure, yes, to add it to your memory bank. Yes, your person would go on vacation, you know, and they just stay at the hotel and eat and drink, and no, that's not a vacation, you know. Yes, so you can find room and food and music just about anywhere, but always do some adventure. Yes.
It was good food though.
Say it again.
It was some good food.
Good food?
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. But did you know that the best food you will find in Jamaica
What's that?
is what you call local restaurants or street food?
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So yes, man. So a lot of time you find, you know, Jamaicans coming back home. People might wonder, how comes, you know. So even if they stay at the hotel, they will still go out and eat at local restaurants.
So we went to Mystic.
Went to Mystic Mountain?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. How was it?
It was good.
Beautiful. If you notice to the right, you will notice a tree with the leaves looking at the palm of your hand. Yes, and behind it you'll find a tree with some red pods. Can someone tell me what those, what tree is that?
Oh, Jamaican sugar apple.
No, man.
Breadfruit and ackee.
Breadfruit and ackee. You see Jamaican on the bus, you know, breadfruit and ackee. Yes. So, ackee, you know, of the 195 countries across the world, to be exact, 196, the Vatican City, 196. Yes, you know, most countries carries a national dish. So Jamaica boasted the second best national dish in the world, you know. Yes, man. Stick a pin. This billboard coming up on the left. Yes, advertising the strongest rum in the world, which is the Jerry and Nephew Overproof. Guyana has the finest rum, which is the Demerara Gold. Yes, but we have the strongest. So it is said that, you know, this rum, the first drink will open your eyes, the second drink will close your eyes, and the third drink, you will not know the difference between your wife and the broomstick. I tell you that. Back in the days when I used to be a trucker, you know, hauling some big loads, climbing mountains like this, going down, you know, you have to, oh gosh, man, you have to, yes, take a little bit of that rum. Yeah, man. Another person might say, you know, rum intoxicate not everybody. England done a study some years ago where they said that, you know, there are persons who operate a vehicle better under the influence, but that finding they could not put out in the public. And being a trucker, like I say, being a 10, you know, operating a 10-wheeler Mack truck, hauling 56 tons uphill, downhill, yes. And I can prove that, I can tell you it's true, yes. Yeah, man, so Jamaica boasted the second best national dish in the world, which is the ackee and saltfish. Barbados, do we have any Bajans on board? No, Barbados boasted the third best national dish. Can you tell me which country has the #1 national dish of the world? Say that again. I didn't get that. Italy? No. What the national dish does is gives you a sneak peek in the dispensation of the people. Yes. Which country has the #1 national dish in the world? Do we have any? Not India. Do we have any Canadians on board?
India.
India? No, man. What is it? By the way, what is India's national dish? Roti. Oh yes, roti. I should tell you, yes, because we have the Indian dispensation. A lot of time you go to Kingston, you have the Indian restaurants, the Japanese restaurants, Thai restaurants. Yes, roti. So, do we have any Americans on board? It's the United States of America, you know. It's the United States of America, which is the
Hot dog. Burger.
no, man, the hamburger, of course. Yes, so, you know, I passed history at the age 16. My history told me that it was the hamburger was originated in Hamburg, Germany. But if you Google it was originated in Hamburg, New York, a little community outside of Hamburg. So that's where the Germans settled, yes. Yeah, man. So what it basically says, as I say, you know, the national dish gives you a sneak peek in the dispensation nations that born out of nations. Have you heard of the Cayman Island? Have you ever gone to the Cayman Island? Well, I live in the Cayman Island for many, many, many years. The Cayman Island, which is a breakaway nation from Jamaica, which is the richest island in the Caribbean. Wacky, but it's true. So in order for a Caymanian to get a US visa, their passport have to come to Jamaica. Jamaica is the head of state, head of churches. Jamaica, chief of immigration for Cayman, the Jamaican chief justice, Jamaican, Kipling Douglas, Mr. Ramsey. Yes. Yeah. So nation born out of nation, yes. As you go along, you will notice a lot of some of the homes looking as if they're abandoned. They're not abandoned. It all depending on your earning index. There are persons who earn and they have enough money to spend. Persons who can buy a house, 5 million, 8 million US out of their shirt pockets. Persons who cannot do so, they would take their time and build. It's called gradual degree. So instead of persons borrowing monies from the banks or lending institutions, yes, they would just take their time and build. It's called gradual degree. The number one bank in Jamaica is a Canadian bank, which is BNS, Bank of Nova Scotia. When I was in Montreal in 2011, Scotia interest rate was 2.53% max. At the time in Jamaica, it was 16.5%. The second largest bank, which is National Commercial Bank. Yes, so who owns National Commercial Bank? A Jamaican Canadian. The fifth richest man, which is Michael Leachin. So even though it's a Jamaican bank, yes, it still operates under the Canadian banking module. So even though Jamaica is a third world country or a developing country, whenever you bank with a bank and your money reaches certain level, yes, they send you an email. They have now moved your account overseas. So it means that you don't have to use a credit card. You go abroad, you just use your debit card. It's cash. You convert from Jamaican to US. Yeah, man.
What is the cost of these homes in this area?
Say it again.
What's the cost of these homes?
Where?
Here, in this neighborhood.
This is what you call an ordinary neighborhood. From the right coming all the way down, that land still belongs to the government. And that's a very good question, because you will find some places like to the right, people will settle on the land. You call them informal settlers. Whenever you see wood houses, it means that person use the wood house to hold the land for a certain amount of years. Then later on, the government comes in, survey the land, and sell the land to the settlers by a payment plan. Yes, so, another person would buy the land, get their title, and build their homes, your permanent home, because Jamaica is in a hurricane channel, so you do not use, build a temporary home. You build solid, permanent structure. Yeah, man.
When is the hurricane season?
When is the hurricane season? It starts from June until the 28th of 28th of November. Yes. That's fine. Uncle Colin, away. Oi. Papi, me there. I'm on my way to the airport. When I get to the airport, I'll call you back, alright? Alright, we better go. Well, you see, this is still the coastline. This is still countryside, even though the road runs along the coastline. If you look to the right, when I just started this job, that's the road we used to use, that little road over there. But those are the good old days, Coming around that side, you have tourists who are like, hey, Mr. Driver, can you stop to the side of the road so we can put our feet in the water? Like, no, I can't do that, man. And then you hear one person say, I'll give you 20.
I will give you
And before you know it, you stop and somebody, and before you know, you move off with $200. Yes. Talking about, you see, so persons that does jobs like these, immigrations, customs, person that works in the travel industry, you understand how dispensation, how people move, how people operate. So when I got into tourism, that was really the last phase of the good old days. Back then you have tourists who ask you, how you doing? How is the family? How are the kids going to school? They care about you. Yes, they live in the hotel, they will, all inclusive, they would give you a bottle of wine, they would take stuff out of the hotel. Hey, if you don't want it, give it to your friends, give it to your workers. Persons staying at Sandals, what they would do in Negril, they would understand the need, let me use the word need, and they would take the stuff out of the hotel, go down on the beach and give it away. The same good steward at one point had also fired a manager because the manager was preventing the tourists from taking the stuff out of the hotels and giving it to the locals. Good steward, yes, he fired, he said they pay for it, let them do whatever they want to do with it. Yes, and talking about the good old days. Nowadays, people just don't, like I said, just don't care, man. Back then, we used to buy, get really little igloo, yes, and you buy red stripe and you buy, your little something, and you go to the airport. On your way to the hotel, you would sell a beer. You buy a beer for $1, you sell it for $2, yes. And drivers, you would use that as a second income because in tourism, most persons works minimum wage, and I always say, what's minimum wage? It's about $10 US per day, not per hour.
per day.
Per day. Per day. So you have to create a second income per day.
What is the cost of living?
To the roof, Papa. To the roof. And when I say to the roof, like I say, gasoline is about $7.50 US per gallon now. The price you saw on the board, that's per liter. Like I say, my wife drives a Nissan Rogue. When she's at quarter tank and I fill the tank, every time we go on the road, I look because I don't let my vehicle pass quarter tank. And I say, pull up to the gas station, $33, $35. Here, if you were at quarter tank and you're gonna fill up, that's about $110 US. Wacky good true, Papa. So if you notice now, the more mature folks, yes, the more mature folks, years ago you find 70% of operators are like in the 50s, 60s, they have migrated. Now you find at the resort, you find the younger generation. So what the younger generation does is goes into tourism for 4 years. 4 years, get the hands-on experience, and then like in the summertime, you have a lot of companies coming from Canada and the United States, all over the world, especially the cruise ship, and sop up these workers. So you might leave somebody at the Bahia or the Royalton. Next year you go to Las Vegas. They're in Las Vegas, yes. Yeah, man. So they go into the hotel industry now to get the hands-on experience. You see, 90% of the hotels in Jamaica, they're not owned by Jamaicans. They're owned by Mexico.
Mexico.
Yes, man. That's rinsing the money. Yes. Back in the days when the Mexican government, along with the U.S. government, used to raid the cartels and take away, tractor trailer loads of money. Now the Mexicans hide their money under the Spanish monarch. Yes. So it means that when you come to Jamaica, your money goes to Spain. Yeah, man. So it means that when you come to Jamaica, you go out and you get served. It's called the service industry, and you tip somebody. It means that it goes right across the board. Even person that does not work in tourism, get a touch of it. Yes.
How do we support locals?
You go out and you spend your money with the locals, Papa. There's only one way. So you find the Vietnamese. Like I tell you, I'm with this company for 21 years. I'm in tourism more than 21 years. The Vietnamese, they understand the whole system. So when the Vietnamese come, they stay at the resort. They only stay there, but they go out there buy fruits. The Indian too. Indian love the mango, the tangerine, the sugar cane. You know, they go out and they spend the money with the locals, yes. And that's the only money that stays here, yes.
Which country brings the most tourists here?
Say it again.
Which country bring the most tourists
Which
here?
country got the most tourists here?
Which country?
Yeah.
America, man. America. Most
America?
most America. You have North America, which is Canada and United States. But like I say again, you know, the index, you see, earning index, spending index. You have some persons who you will have Americans. You have different dispensation of people. Some persons spend money more than the others. So everybody leaves a footprint. Believe it or not, they leave a footprint. So everybody in tourism, if we were to do a survey, they can tell who is who. Yes, who is who, what is what. European, yes, you know, oh gosh, they're the worst tourists. Especially the Russians, because we had a Russian account for some time, and when they stopped coming to Jamaica, the drivers jump for crazy, man. We had a party because you know they would start early in the morning, 4 o'clock, coming 2 or 3 o'clock the next morning, and they don't give a hoot. Yes. Oh yes. All right, over to the right now. That's the Rosal Ideal Star, which is the largest hotel in Montego Bay. The largest hotel so far is the Grand Palladium, which is on your way to Negril. So there are 3 main industries. Tourism, which is the largest, as I mentioned earlier. Even though tourism is the largest, it's not the high wage earner. Most persons depend on the tips, yes, the gratuity, yes. That's what keeps us afloat. Second is bauxite. What is bauxite? It's a special type of soil which is called the bauxite ore. Locally we call it the red dirt. So of the 14 parishes in Jamaica, you will only find that type of soil in 4 parishes to mining proportion. So earlier on you passed the Discovery Bay Bauxite Partners. They export the raw ore. All the other plants process the ore into the alumina powder. So the bauxite ore or the red dirt is put in a cylindrical kiln and burned along with other chemicals at a high temperature. Then it comes out looking like glucose. We call it the alumina powder, which is further processed into aluminum. Third now is agriculture, including sugar and rum, and some would say marijuana too. Okay, but true. To the right, yes, Hard Rock, Montego Bay. That's another affiliate of the Moon Palace over in Orcharias. And talking about building, you know, like I was saying earlier on, Jamaica is no poise for development. Jamaica was very stagnant for many decades, so there wasn't a rebirth of Jamaica until the late 90s. As you go along, you will notice 70% of Jamaica is unoccupied, prime real estate untouched. Even though our population is approximately 3 million, there are many millions of Jamaicans living outside of Jamaica, yes. Every sphere of life there is around the world, you'll find Jamaicans. Our motto is, out of many, one people. Yeah, man, which means that, you know, every race there is, you'll find Jamaicans. So that a person would think that even though most Jamaicans are of West African descent, we have whites, we have Chinese, we have Cherokee, we have, yeah, man, just about every race, yes. Our prime lands, which is Wilikobawitalawa. What did I just say? In English, it means we are a small nation, but we have made a big impact on the world. Wilikobawitalawa. So from the White House, from Pentagon, from Buckingham Palace, yes, you have Jamaicans.
Are there Indians too here?
Yes, ma'am. We have the chill man. Of course, remember, from slavery era, we are now in the Rose Hall community, and Rose Hall, he has got his name from a 17th century sugar plantation. You see, back in the 1700s, there were over 700 sugar plantation. So while we learned in school, that's why we do not have discrimination and segregation, because you learned in school that if you segregate and discriminate, you're downright stupid. Yes, because you have the Africans used to work in the field, the Indians and the Chinese used to do indentured labor. Yes, so the only person that is has the right to Jamaica used to be the Taino Indians. Yes, so the Indians and the West Africans, we were all brought here by the slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade. So yes, we do have Indians. If you were to go in Clarendon, you have little communities. If you were to go over to Westmoreland, yes, you'll find Indian communities. But like I say again, you have everybody just come together. Yes.
One love.
What? There you go, Papa. One love, man. One love.
So even the food is kind of influenced by each other, right? Like the cuisines are influenced by all the people who settled here.
Yes, my lady. Oh, yes. That's what I say. I used to live over Kingston. I now live this side because of tourism. I used to be the driver of a prominent politician. Yes, so I get to see all the way from the top all the way to the bottom. So growing up as a country boy, then you go to Kingston, then you get into the diplomatic realm, the higher powers that be, and then you understand Jamaica from a different level. So if you go to Kingston, you'll find Indian restaurants, Thai restaurants, Japanese restaurants. And when I say Japanese, you still have Jamaican Japanese. Because I used to work, my former boss, Mr. Yap. Yes, he was a Japanese, born in Jamaica. Yes, but of Japanese descent. Yes. You have, even back in the days, you have the Irish during the World War, Second World War, when a lot of Irish, ran away to Jamaica. They were seeking safe haven. The war in Germany, yes, when a lot of persons, the German ship docked, run aground in St. Elizabeth. So if you should go over to the south side, which is St. Elizabeth, you have most of its people are of German descent. Yes, man. So like my son's mother, she lives in New York. If you should ask her where she's from instead of Jamaica, you would never believe, yes, because she's of German descent.
What was Jamaica's dish?
Say that again.
What was the dish? National dish?
National ackee and saltfish. Ackee, which originates from Tahiti. Yeah, man. So the breadfruit, we spoke about the breadfruit earlier on. The breadfruit was brought to Jamaica by Captain Bligh, yes, who at the time, brought it here to raise pigs, to feed pigs, and then later on, persons realized that, it could be eaten, yes. So why is it called a breadfruit? Whenever it's full, you roast it. Yes, it tastes like bread. And before it's ready to ripe, if you boil it, it tastes like potato. Yes. Yeah, breadfruit. So we are now on the Rose Hall corridor. As you go along, you will notice quite a few hotels. Earlier on, you passed the Rose Hall Iberia Star, then the Hilton, then the Jewel Grand, then the Hyatt Ziva and Zilara Suites, which was formerly the Ritz. To the right, all the way down, that's the Half Moon. Half Moon, which is said to be the most complete hotel in the Caribbean. They have their own Dolphin Cove, their own horseback riding, their own golf course, their own hospital, their own bank, duty-free shops, and restaurants, which is also open to the public. You might have heard of Steven Seagal. Over to the left, we pass most of the community. That's where you'll find his holiday home. So you'll find a lot of holiday homes in Jamaica. Steven Seagal, Elton John, Ralph Lauren, Mick Jagger, and the list goes on and on.
Move like Jagger.
The Holiday Inn Resort coming up on the right.
So are these resorts all inclusive or?
Yes, they're all inclusive. You know, some of them you can also. I think some of them you can do the EP, the European plan, which means whatever it is that you use. You know, yes, you pay for just a basic for the room, and you buy your food. You have restaurants. You know.
Okay, so you have restaurant inside.
Say it again.
Restaurants are there inside. those
Yes, yeah.
hotels?
Oh yes. The most hotel properties are complete. They have entertainment, they have different restaurants. But like I said again, EP plan, you have to be careful because what they would do, they would have a fridge in the room, you know, a bar in the room, and they will put all the expensive liquors in the room, and and anything that you use from that fridge is right there. Then it's gonna be like about 4 times the cost. I remember about 18 years ago staying at the Ritz when it was the Ritz-Carlton, and they have Red Bull and all of that in the freezer, and if you drink one Red Bull, that's about $8 US. To the right, that's a small luxury hotel, Zoe Tree. I realize you're driving a new car, but you don't know who's driving.
Sports of Jamaica.
Say it again.
National Sports of Jamaica.
The national sport, oh man, it's cricket, man.
Cricket.
Lovely cricket. That's number 1, and then football, I would say number 2. But we've been playing a lot of American games now, like what do you call it, basketball. Talking about basketball, Jamaica held the Mike Jersey Classic, the Jamaica Classic. Yeah, so Patrick Ewing was also here. Patrick Ewing is a born Jamaican from Trelawney, yes. Where you have the teams would come to Jamaica and what you call it, draft persons, yes. So you have Cornwall College in Montego Bay, Jamaica College, Kingston College. These are all boy colleges, yes. Jamaica Classics.
Are you born and raised here?
Say it again.
Are you born and raised here?
Yes, man. Born and raised in Jamaica, man. Little old country boy, back then, those were the good old days, man. You born in the country, 5 boys, 1 girl. There was more land than houses. Where you get to, you make a slingshot and you go shoot birds and you make noise and nobody to call the police.
Freedom.
You're going through the garden and you want ripe banana. Instead of going to the store, you just follow your nose, man.
So you've seen the country grow.
Oh, good old country days, man. You see, that's one thing a Jamaican will never exchange with anybody in the world. Their childhood days in Jamaica. No, man, they would never. We used to walk to elementary school, about 3 miles to college. Used to walk about 7.5 miles. You know, but it was all fun, man. You know, fun. Life expectancy in Jamaica is 84.94.
Oh wow.
My grandmother slept away at 102. My grandfather slept away at 104. My father to date is 84. Yes, the 6th of May coming, he'll be 85. Still farms about 4 acres of land by choice. Yeah, man, still as healthy as a fiddle.
Who's your favorite cricketer?
Oh man, there's not one, but you know, more than one. You have Courtney Walsh.
Oh,
You have
my God, that's my favorite too.
man, Courtney Walsh, man. You have Courtney Walsh, Chris Gale.
Chris Gale,
Yes,
yeah.
man.
Don't you like Brian Lara?
Oh yes, Brian Lara. He's an ace, man.
Yeah, man.
He's an ace. You have
Vivian Richard.
Vivian Richards back in the days. You have
I know.
Courtney Ambrose.
Ambrose.
Yes, man. Okay, Ambrose, man.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But I tell you what, you know, and it's not that Jamaicans are not still good at cricket, but over the years, and a lot of people don't understand. You see, older person,
Yeah.
and like I said, you know, my person used to play just for the game, not for money.
That's true.
But we are now living in what you call new age. New age. So time gone by, you know, like I said, they used to tell you that, you know, oh, you work for you until you retire at 65. People nowadays ain't gonna work until they reach 65. They're gonna live a retirement lifestyle while you're working. That's a big shift. So it means that no money. So these guys know Chris Gale, because Chris Gale, even though he's a #1 cricketer, he makes most of his money out of 2020.
Yes. Yeah.
So, you know, back in the days when grandma would have a tree in the yard and she could call a young man, come here, young man, can you pick some mangoes for me? Young man would run up the tree and pick 2 dozens mango for grandma. Bye, grandma. These days it ain't happening. If grandma call, come here, young man, can you pick 2 dozen mango for me? How much you gonna pay me, grandma? And if grandma don't have any money to pay, oh, I'll pick 2 dozen, 1 dozen for me. So that's the age we.
And who is your favorite from India?
India. What's that guy? Oh gosh, man. The guy that drops his head again. What's his name again?
Kohli?
Tenduka. Tenduka, man. Tenduka. See, I know what I'm saying?
He's the god of cricket.
Oh man, I tell you. I remember once, you know, we were in a bar in Old Harbor, and we were watching the cricket, and it was West Indies. West Indies playing against what is Brazil? Not Brazil. What's the next? What's the next cricket?
Zimbabwe?
Australia, man. Australia.
Yeah.
And West Indies, you know, they had just 2 balls,
Oh man.
yes, to win. And I don't remember which guy. I'm gonna have to go back and search that video. And 2 balls, 1, boom, 4.
Yes.
Yes, the last ball, bam, 6 runs. We were all grown men hugging each other like a bunch of kids. Yeah. And the end, like, do I know you? Oh my Lord. I tell you, man, those were the good old days. Good old days. You know, and the thing about it, I think governments should emphasize on sports, because sports like music nowadays, music is some of the music indoctrinate people, which is inciting violence. Sports always bring out the best in people. Yes, sports, cricket, football. I think those are that's one of the best medium to bring any rival faction together. Sports. But like I say again, everything boils down to money. A lot of persons always ask, how comes we don't get to see downtown? If you're coming from this side, then downtown is just about 20 minutes or so to that side. There are tours that can take you to downtown, the road to the left, top road, and the bottom road, yes? So the airport is on the outskirts of Montego Bay, alright? So if you're sleeping, it's time to wake up, wakey wakey. Yes, so you're now back at the Sunset International Airport. Alright, so it was a pleasure to come and pick you guys up this morning, Yes, it was, nice chit-chatting with you. And we're back at the airport safely, alright? So as soon as the bus comes to a complete stop, please to double check, just to make sure that you have everything with you. Check for your cell phones, your passports, your wallets. And please watch your hidden steps while it's embarking. So as soon as you get on the outside, you identify and collect your luggage. Once you collect your luggage, you go right on through the departure gates. Once you get on the inside, go right ahead and check in. So do have yourselves a safe journey home now, and we hope to see you as soon as your next vacation. All right, if you had a wonderful time, please share all the wonderful experiences with your friends and family. If you had a bad time, please don't say about yeah, man. So happy holidays, and stay sweet. Yeah, man. It's been a good time.